In the world of entertainment, Tyler Perry stands as a titan, a self-made billionaire who built an empire from the ground up, creating countless opportunities for many in the industry. However, his celebrated career now faces a significant and troubling legal challenge. An actor named Joshua Soule, who also goes by the name Derek Dixon, has come forward with a lawsuit against Mr. Perry and his sprawling production company, Tyler Perry Studios. The allegations are deeply serious and have sent ripples through Hollywood and beyond. Dixon is seeking a staggering $260 million in damages, claiming he was the victim of a pattern of disturbing behavior that unfolded over several years, casting a dark shadow over his time working for the famed director. The legal complaint filed by Joshua Soule outlines a series of grave accusations, primarily centering on claims of sexual assault, persistent sexual harassment, and battery. These are not light words. They paint a picture of a professional relationship that allegedly crossed unacceptable lines. Dixon, who was given roles in 2 of Perry's popular television shows, alleges that the powerhouse producer used his position of immense power and influence to create an environment of coercion and fear. He claims that what began as a promising career opportunity quickly devolved into a nightmare, where his professional life became entangled with unwanted and inappropriate personal demands from his famous boss, leaving him feeling trapped and powerless. The story of how these 2 men met began in 2019 at an industry event. According to Dixon's account, it was Tyler Perry who initiated the contact, reportedly singling him out from the crowd and expressing interest in his potential as an actor. This initial encounter led to an exchange of phone numbers and the promise of future work. True to his word, Perry soon cast Dixon in a small role on his show, Ruthless. For any aspiring actor, this would seem like a dream come true, a chance to work with one of the most successful figures in modern television and film. However, Dixon alleges that this professional entry point was also the beginning of an unsettling and deeply personal ordeal. Following his initial role, Dixon was offered a more substantial full-time part as the character Dale on another of Perry's series, The Oval. This should have been a moment of celebration, a sign of a blossoming career. Instead, Dixon alleges that this is when the alleged harassment intensified, becoming a constant presence in his life. The lawsuit contends that Perry's conduct created a hostile work environment, one where Dixon felt his professional security was conditional on his response to Perry's alleged personal advances. This situation forms the very foundation of the lawsuit, which aims to hold one of the industry's most powerful figures accountable for his alleged actions behind the scenes. The lawsuit details several specific incidents that allegedly took place at Tyler Perry's Atlanta home, which served as a frequent setting for their interactions. The first alleged incident occurred in January 2020. Dixon claims he was invited to Perry's residence and after having too much to drink was offered a guest room to stay the night. It was there, Dixon alleges, that Perry entered the room, got into bed with him, and began touching his thighs. According to the complaint, Dixon immediately rejected these advances, making it clear that he was not interested. This alleged event marks the first instance of physical contact outlined in the lawsuit, setting a distressing tone for what Dixon claims would follow. A second alleged physical incident reportedly happened later that same year, once again at Perry's home. Dixon's lawsuit claims that Perry initiated a conversation of a sexually charged nature, asking him invasive questions about his preferences in bed. The situation allegedly escalated when Perry is accused of grabbing Dixon by the throat and remarking on his supposed excitement. Dixon states that he was shocked and immediately pushed Perry away to create distance. A third alleged incident in June 2021 describes Perry entering Dixon's guest room while he was in his underwear, attempting a goodnight hug that allegedly turned into Perry yanking down his underwear and groping him, telling him to relax. Dixon claims he deflected this advance by quickly changing the subject. Beyond the alleged physical encounters, the lawsuit puts a heavy emphasis on a relentless stream of text messages that Dixon claims he received from Perry over several years. These messages, which are reportedly included as evidence, form a crucial part of the harassment claim. The texts allegedly ranged from questions about Dixon's sexual preferences to explicit statements from Perry about his own. In one alleged message, Perry is quoted as writing, "No straight man would be going on walks with you or cooking dinner for you unless they wanted to F you, I would FK you." These communications are presented as proof of an ongoing campaign of sexual pursuit. The alleged messages continued in this vein, with Perry purportedly calling Dixon names like beautiful and the rose, and commenting on his physical appearance, such as noting he looked thick in his jeans. Other texts reportedly offered unsolicited life advice of a sexual nature, with Perry allegedly asking, "What's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex?" and telling Dixon he was missing the best years of your life by not letting someone make love to you. Dixon's legal team argues that this constant barrage of messages created an atmosphere of pressure and harassment that was inescapable, blurring the lines between his professional obligations and Perry's alleged personal desires. A particularly compelling and unusual aspect of Joshua Soul's lawsuit is the connection he draws between his real-life experiences and the character he was hired to portray on The Oval. Dixon was cast as Dale, a store clerk who is depicted on the show as gay, homeless, and in a state of desperation. The character's storyline involves him having to engage in sexual relationships with others simply to secure a place to live. Dixon alleges that this fictional narrative felt disturbingly similar to the dynamic Perry was trying to create with him in the real world, turning his acting role into a constant and painful reminder of his alleged off-screen ordeal. Dixon's complaint alleges that this was not a coincidence. He claims that Tyler Perry had explicitly told him he was looking for a real-life sexual partner who would be both loyal and dependent on him. When Dixon saw his character, Dale, being written into situations that mirrored this very theme of dependency and transactional relationships, he believed it was a deliberate act. He argues that Perry was essentially forcing him to act out a version of the very submission that he was allegedly demanding from him in private. This claim suggests a level of psychological manipulation, where the lines between fiction and reality were intentionally and cruelly blurred by his employer. Throughout this period, Dixon claims he felt his career was in a precarious position. He feared that if he complained about the alleged harassment or rejected Perry's advances too forcefully, his professional aspirations would be instantly destroyed. The power imbalance was immense. Perry was not just his boss, but a towering figure who could make or break careers in the entertainment industry. To navigate this difficult situation, Dixon says he tried to deflect the alleged advances gently. He would often tell Perry that he simply wasn't the sexual type and frequently brought up the fact that he was in therapy as a way to create a boundary without causing a direct confrontation. This strategy of deflection highlights the difficult choices that individuals in less powerful positions often face when confronted with alleged workplace harassment. The fear of retaliation is a powerful silencer. Dixon's lawsuit suggests that he endured the alleged behavior for years, hoping to preserve the career he had worked so hard to build. However, he claims the situation became increasingly unbearable, forcing him to conclude that his personal well-being and integrity were more important than any professional opportunity. This realization ultimately led him to take more definitive action to address the alleged abuse he had endured. The breaking point for Joshua Soul reportedly came in the middle of 2024. After years of allegedly enduring the harassment and unwanted advances, he decided he could no longer continue working under such conditions. In a significant step, he filed a formal complaint with the Equal Employment and Opportunity Commission, the federal agency responsible for enforcing laws against workplace discrimination and harassment. This official complaint laid the groundwork for his subsequent legal action. Shortly after filing with the EEOC, Dixon made the difficult decision to quit his role on The Oval, walking away from a steady job on a popular television show to escape what he describes as a toxic and abusive environment. In response to the lawsuit and the shocking allegations it contains, Tyler Perry has issued a swift and forceful denial through his legal team. His attorney has categorically rejected all of Joshua Soul's claims, describing them as fabricated and part of an elaborate scam. The statement from Perry's camp portrays Dixon as a disgruntled individual attempting to extort a wealthy public figure. Perry's lawyer has made it clear that the famed producer will not be shaken down by these accusations and has expressed total confidence that the claims will be proven false once they are examined in a court of law. This sets the stage for a contentious legal fight. This case now stands as a classic, he said scenario, pitting a rising actor against one of the most powerful and beloved figures in the entertainment industry. Joshua Soul's legal team will rely on the evidence they have gathered, including the alleged text messages and his detailed accounts of the incidents, to build their case. On the other side, Tyler Perry's defense will work to dismantle these claims, challenge Dixon's credibility, and present the allegations as a malicious attempt to tarnish Perry's reputation for financial gain. The truth will ultimately be for the legal system to decide, a process that is often long and arduous for everyone involved. As this story continues to unfold, it is crucial for the public to remember that at this stage, these are all allegations. A lawsuit represents one side of a story, and Tyler Perry, like any individual, is presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. The legal process is designed to weigh the evidence, hear testimony from both sides, and arrive at a just conclusion. We will be watching this case closely as it progresses, committed to reporting the facts as they emerge. For now, a serious legal battle is just beginning, one that will have lasting implications for both the accuser and the accused.